नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितमेन तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगगन रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सगगन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पति गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरग परमग कृष्णग सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदग सर्व कारण कारणम। ओम तत्सत्। हरे कृष्ण। By the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge which can be very joyfully performed, and the everlasting knowledge, Susukam Kartum Avyayam. So now we are in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, understanding about the opulence of the Absolute, Krishna's Vibhuti Yoga. So here Krishna is giving us all his prominent opulence, Pradhanyataka. So because there is no end to his divine opulence, Nastyanto Vistarasyame. So Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead that we know very well from Bhagavad Gita. So that means we cannot put any limits to him. He is limitless. So nanto asti, na anto asti. That's what, there is no limit. Nanto asti mama divyanam vibhudinam cha paranta. So divyanam vibhudinam. So that means divine opulence. So there is no end to my divine opulence. That's what Krishna says. We are all limited in what we can do in our life, in our daily, day-to-day life, day-to-day activities. So there is limit for us. But Krishna is limitless. So that's what we need to understand, the difference between the soul and the super soul, us and Krishna. So sometimes people say that we are also God. So once we realize, then we will merge with the God, all such things. In Bhagavad Gita, there is nothing like that. Krishna is saying very clearly that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no one above him. No one equal to him also. No one above him, no one equal to him. So we are always soul. We are of Krishna's Amsa, Mamaiva Amsa, but we are not like Krishna. That's what we need to understand. Even though Krishna says many times in Bhagavad Gita that Madbhava Magata Mamasad Dharmya Magata. So like that Krishna says. So that means if you do like this, you will attain my nature, like that. So we will attain Krishna's nature in one sense, that we will be freed from the modes of nature. So that's what Krishna's nature. Now we have Swabhava. We have every one of us having our own bhava. That is what is called Swabhava. So when Krishna says Madbhava, so Madbhava means it is my bhava. So you will attain my nature. That's what Krishna says. Madbhava Magata. So we need to get Krishna's nature, means we should be freed from the three modes of material nature, because Krishna's nature is that Mam Ebhyaka Param Avyam. So I'm above the three modes of nature. So that we can get it. That's what Krishna says, Madbhava Magata. Nanyam Gunebhyaka Kartaram Yatha Drashtanu Pashyati Gunebhyascha Param Veti Madbhavam Agata. Madbhavam Adhigaccha. So that means Gunebhyascha Param Veti. If we are freed from the three modes of material nature, Gunebhyascha Param Veti, then we will attain Krishna's nature. So at that time, we will understand very well that we are part and parcel of Krishna. And we should always get ourselves connected with Krishna only, nothing else, no one else. That means our mind should not be thinking about anything else in this material world or anything else. Always connected with Krishna only means we should never forget Krishna. And for that, in order to remember Krishna practically in our life, day-to-day life, we need to figure it out how we can keep ourselves always connected with Krishna. One important way is that, like, we are studying Bhagavad Gita now, and for us, this time is for Krishna only. So we are focusing our mind only on Krishna now. So we are definitely connected with Krishna now. So that's very important. So we need to keep focusing our mind only on Krishna all the time. Means, so like studying this Bhagavad Gita, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and preparing prasadam for Krishna and spreading Bhagavad Gita. So that way, not worrying about anything in our life, not getting attached to anything any material sense objects. So always fully depending on Krishna, do everything for Krishna. So that's what we are supposed to. So for that, we have to have this knowledge first. That's what we are having, this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. And then we have to use this knowledge in our life. Because as we are discussing every day, that in this material world, because Arjuna himself told Krishna that it's very, very hard to get detached. Very difficult to get detached. That's very important. But Krishna's mercy is there for us. So he will help us. He is helping us to free ourselves from all bondage in this material world. There is no doubt about it. So we need to now use Krishna's mercy to get out of this material bondage, material world. So before we die, we need to fully get ourselves connected with Krishna. So that means we have to give up all attachments to everything in this material world. So that is simply possible, very easily possible, by following this Bhagavad Gita, all the instructions given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. That means by doing all the work only for Krishna, by surrendering all the results only to Krishna. We should not think that I want this, I want that, because everything belongs to Krishna, and Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. He is the Yajna Purusha. So we should focus our mind only on Krishna and do everything for Krishna. So then by Krishna's mercy, cosmic mercy, we will have to do everything for Krishna. So Krishna makes sure that we are doing everything for Krishna. So that means controlling our mind, Krishna himself agreed it's very difficult because our mind can easily get carried away by the senses. That's what we studied yesterday also. So it's very difficult to keep our mind in one place. And for that, we need to give up all the desires. That's what is very important. Because when desires are there, when materialistic desires are there, then it's not easy to control our mind. So that is the source. So we should not be attached to anything in this material world. So that means we should not have any material desires. That's what Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaga Sangaste Supajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaga Kamat Krodho Abhijayate Krodhat Bhavati Sammogaga Sammohat Smriti Vibhramaga Smriti Brahmshat Buddhinaso Buddhinasat Pranashyati. That's what we are seeing with everyone in this material world all the time, even within the family, among family members, or everywhere. So because of attachment, because of thinking about the material sense objects, because of material desires, so all these things are actually ruining our life. We are not able to achieve peace of mind at all. In order to achieve peace of mind, we should be focusing our mind only on Krishna. So that means we should be able to give up all other desires. Vihaya. Vihaya means we should give up. Vihaya kamanya sarva. So all desires we should be able to give up. How can we do that? In order to give up all desires, how can we do that? How can we give up all the material desires? Practically speaking, it is very much possible if our desires are centered towards Krishna only. We cannot give up all the desires. So we have to give up only kama, not prema. Krishna prema, we should not give it up. So vihaya kamanya sarva. So we need to give up all material desires. So that means we need to develop desires to please Krishna. Then only it is possible to not have any materialistic desires. We need to develop the desires to remember Krishna, to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. So that means we should not give up. It is not possible for anyone to give up the desires, but it is possible for us to have spiritual desires instead of material desires, materialistic desires. So such desires of serving Krishna will actually make us to lead a meaningful life, pleasing Krishna. And also many times we discussed, practically speaking, it is not possible for us to give up what we are doing right now. If we are at work, if we are doing something, it is not possible to give up completely. So now how can we develop only spiritual desires, only pleasing Krishna, if we are not able to give up what we are doing right now in this material world? For example, if you are going to a job, we cannot say that, oh, suddenly everything I am become completely, I got only spiritual desires, only serving Krishna, pleasing Krishna. So now I will stop going to work today and all. That is not possible. Or if you are studying, or if you are doing any other work like that, we cannot do that. But one thing is possible, definitely. That whatever we do, we can still find lot of time to spread Krishna's message. That is very much possible. So we need to understand that we have 24 hours in a day. So we should make sure that our work should not be like 16 hours, 15 hours working or doing all kinds of engagements like that. We should not get ourselves entangled like that. So to to lead a normal life, we need to work. That's what is very important. So just to maintain our body, we need to work. So, Yaduscha Labha Santushto Dvandvatito Vimatsarga. So, Nirasir Yatha Chittatma Tyakta Sarva Parigraha Sariram Kevalam Karma Kurvan Napnuti Kilbisham. It's just to maintain our body. Sariram Kevalam Karma. And we know that very well from Bhagavad Gita, when we are doing everything for Krishna, when we think about Krishna only all the time, so then we know from Bhagavad Gita that Krishna himself is going to give us, reward us what we need. So that way we need to consider that we are working for Krishna. That's what we need to. Instead of thinking that we are working for someone, we are working in a company, or we are working, trying to get salaries, instead of thinking someone else as our boss, we need to consider, we need to think that only Krishna is our boss and Krishna is our Lord. So that way, if we are working for Krishna, Krishna is going to reward us what we need. And what we need, we don't want anything else in this material world. We need to lead a life, decent life, which will help us to get out of this material world. That's what we are supposed to. We need to lead a decent life. That's it. And that Krishna will do it. Krishna will definitely take it. By Krishna's causeless mercy, that is definitely going to happen. So this knowledge, Bhagavad Gita knowledge, helps us to go to Krishna. That's what is very important. We need to work, do everything only for Krishna, and that is possible only by studying this Bhagavad Gita. Only by studying this Bhagavad Gita, we can work for Krishna, we can develop such kind of attitude, spiritual attitude. So by Krishna's causeless mercy, now we are studying Bhagavad Gita and we are in the 10th chapter. So we are studying about the affluence of the Absolute. So in the 30th sloka, Krishna is giving us the knowledge that Prahladashasmi Daityanam Kalaha Kalayatamaham Mriganam Cha Mrigendroham Vainateyascha Pakshinam. Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlada. Among subduers, I am time. Among beasts, I am the lion. And among birds, I am Garuda. Pavanaga Pavatamasmi Ramaga Sastrabrutamaham Jashana Makaraschasmi Shrotasamasmi Janavi. Of purifiers, I am the wind. Of the wielders of weapons, I am Rama. Of fishers, I am the shark. And of flowing rivers, I am the Ganges. Sarganam adirantascha madhyanam chaivaham madhyam chaivaham arjuna adhyatma vidya vidyanam vadaka pravadatamaham. Of all creations, I am the beginning and the end and also the middle, O Arjuna. Of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self, and among logicians, I am the conclusive truth. So Krishna is heaven. That's what we need to understand.